everyone, it's Julia and welcome back. This is my review of the CHESONA Bluetooth keyboard. CHESONA did send me this keyboard to review, but as always, this review is based on my honest opinion and experience. This keyboard is made out of plastic with both the keys and the body, and there is low key travel, but the typing experience has been good so far. This keyboard does connect to 3 different devices and charges with USB Type-C, and you get this cool little caddy that can dock some of the devices that you connect to this keyboard. This review will consist of connecting 3 different devices to the keyboard as well as some typing sounds and tests and a concluding part. Enjoy the review. So this is a test of connecting this keyboard to my iPad. Now CHESONA did advertise this keyboard to be curated towards the Apple ecosystem, so if you have a MacBook, iPad, iPhone, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, iMac, and all that kind of Apple ecosystem devices, then this keyboard is curated towards that, but I'm pretty sure you can still use this on Windows computers as well, since I will test that out on my laptop later on. So the first thing we're going to do is turn on the keyboard itself. I'm going to flip off on that switch. As you can see, you can tell by this light that it's turning on. So like any other multi-device keyboard, there's these 3 different buttons here that you can connect to 3 different devices. So the first thing we're going to do is connect this iPad. So we're going to hold one of the buttons here. As you see, it's connecting with that really quick blue light right there. As you can see, it did scan and recognize the keyboard really quickly here. So we're just going to press that and connect to my iPad. As you can see, it is connected. So the first thing we're going to do is test out the function keys, as I do in almost all my videos around keyboards. So we're going to do that now. We're going to try out the brightness buttons. As you can tell on the screen right here that it is increasing and decreasing the brightness. This is the mission control function key. We have the search button right here, which works perfectly, just perfect actually. There doesn't seem to be any lag in the typing experience, as you can see there. We have your zoom out, zoom in button. I don't often use those. But we'll check out later on in this test to see if those work or not. But I usually don't even use those function keys anyway. We have the previous track, play and pause, next track. We also have the mute button here, lowering volume, increasing the volume. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. We have eject button. We also have. Next thing I'm going to do is open up a Word document here so we can see how this actually functions as a keyboard for doing actual work and such. So this is a study guide that I have for a class I took last semester, the one I just finished here. So let's see. Yep. Let's see if this works. So I can't seem to get the zoom in and zoom out buttons to work exactly, but again, I don't really use that, and especially with the iPad, you can just use your fingers and such. So from scrolling up and down, we'll do Command Z to do undo. So all the commands still work if you know your shortcuts on a keyboard. So far, I don't find any issue with typing on this. We'll just Okay, so I'm not the best typer in the world. Obviously, I don't have the best spelling either, but there doesn't seem to be any lag or issues with typing on this keyboard. Everything seems to work perfectly and as advertised. And I think for a budget and being able to get some cool features on a keyboard, I think this would be a great choice. Obviously, with an iPad Pro, it'll be hard to be able to fit in this little caddy that they have for cell phones, as they advertise, or smaller tablets. If you have like an iPad mini, maybe it'll fit on there. I don't have one of those, but you can try that out. It's a pretty small caddy there, so we'll test out other devices to fit into that. So far, the function keys seem to work. Next thing I'm going to do is open up Spotify here. Go on this playlist. We'll play something, I'll make sure not to have the volume on since I don't want any copyright issues. It's probably playing on the iPad right now, but I'll increase the volume, decrease the volume. As you see, it works. Mute it. We can do next track, next track, next track, back. Let's see if you can kind of scrub through the song as well. Play and pause. So those work obviously just fine. And it seems to work perfectly as advertised, which is pretty cool. So we'll test this out on my iPhone, which will be connected right here. Alright, so this is kind of a different view since I have my iPad placed right here. So what we're going to do is connect it to my iPhone. This is the iPhone 13 Pro, but I don't think it really matters which iPhone you have. So on my phone, I have the Apple leather case, and it's a really slim case. So we'll see if this can actually fit on this little caddy right here that CHESONA advertised to be able to fit phones. Let's see if it fits. As you can see, it's pretty snug in there. There's some movement. It's kind of a weird, awkward position, but I think actually looks really nice. So if you're working on your computer here, you can use your phone as a secondary screen or something like that, which I think is pretty cool. We're going to press number 2 here. So it is connecting, as you can tell, and you can see that it connects right away, and the phone was able to find it quickly. Alright. Let's see. We'll open up a Word doc. Sorry if it's going to be switching around on the iPhone screen record here. Alright, so you don't want to place your phone where the camera is, since the camera bump is going to not allow you to place the phone inside the little caddy, but it seems to work just fine. So let's work on something here. And there doesn't seem to be any lag again when it comes to typing. Alright, it seems to work. Let's test out the function keys. Increase the brightness, decrease the brightness. As you can tell right here, you can see it, and on this camera you can also see the brightness changing. You have mission control there. You also have the search button. So have the zoom in, zoom out, which again I don't use. Previous track, play and pause. As you can tell, it does work since it started playing music on my phone. We're gonna, obviously these are gonna work. And those work perfectly fine. Alright, let's press the lock button here, and it seems to work again. So far, it's been a pretty good experience with connecting this keyboard to all these devices. So let's test it out on a Samsung. So this is a Galaxy S10e. CHESONA did advertise this keyboard, as I mentioned before, for Apple devices, but we'll see if it works on any other type of operating system. So this works on Android, so let's test it out. We're going to hold the 3 button right here, and we'll see how fast the keyboard is scanned into here. As you can see, it's right there. We're going to connect it. I'm going to pair it, and it's connected. Now with the Samsung line, especially with the newer Galaxy phones, you do have Samsung Dex. So what I'm going to do is connect it to Samsung Dex, and we'll test it out right there. So right here, again, with this phone caddy here, you can place your phone, which is pretty cool if you're using Samsung Dex. I think it'll be a pretty sweet solution. We're gonna plug in my USB hub here. So right now you are looking at my desktop right now. Again, this is connected to my phone right here to Samsung Dex. This. Alright, it seems to work just fine. So the one thing I want to try is opening up Spotify and seeing if some of the function keys work. Obviously, if you can tell from the screen here, it does increase and decrease the brightness just fine. You can also use, well, the search button doesn't work. These ones don't work. Let's test out the function of the other keys here. We'll go on my playlist on Spotify here. Obviously, the screens can be the same here on the phone. I can turn the phone off right there and it'll still work on Samsung Dex. So here on the screen, as you can tell here, I'm going to be pressing the buttons down here. We're going to play a song. The audio is playing from the actual device that is connected. So on my monitor or on my speakers, which is actually my microphone right now. So audio is playing from that. We're gonna pause, which works. Play. Next song, back song. Lower the volume, increase the volume. As you can tell right here on the screen, it's actually showing that. So with Samsung Dex, this keyboard actually works with it, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of cool that you can actually place the phone here on the little caddy and it'll work just fine as a little extra small screen, which is pretty cool. Here's the typing sound test for the CHESONA wireless keyboard without the silicone cover. This is the typing sound test for CHESONA wireless keyboard, but with the silicone cover that comes with it. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent keyboard, especially with all the different options you can get online. This is a good one to take a look into. CHESONA has made themselves a pretty reputable brand on Amazon for creating budget keyboards. The only thing I would have to critique about this one is I wish it had a bit of a higher quality build with the plastic, with the keys in the body, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I would also say to have a bit of a bigger groove for the caddy of for the devices, since some thicker cases will not be able to fit into the groove. Overall, again, I think this is a pretty good keyboard and it will be linked down below. Thank you for watching.